Well, we just got some brand new information, and it seems like Zelda's 40th anniversary is about to get even crazier. If you weren't already excited for this anniversary, oh boy, there's definitely a lot here. So we might actually know the pre-order date for Ocarina of Time, the release date for Ocarina of Time, and also a date for an upcoming Nintendo Direct. Now, we all knew ever since this trailer was originally revealed to us that the game actually exists, there was going to be something else to show off more gameplay or whatever the case may be. Really seems like this is going to be happening August 4th. So if you really were to look at August 4th, that is actually a Tuesday. And what is Nintendo like more than to release Nintendo Direct or more information on games on a Tuesday? The reason why we know this date is because GameStop made an oopsie. So they go on to say that the release date is going to be this for pre-order bonus. If you also were to look at it, Nintendo typically does do pre-orders about 2 to 3 months before the game does actually come out, so we can assume that Ocarina of Time is going to be landing around October or November. That just makes the most sense. Also, if you looked at every other sort of Zelda game release date, this is a pretty wide open area, and this would be a console system seller for about the holiday season, so obviously this is all some great news. Also, you can really look at to seeing a Zelda 40th Anniversary Direct. Now, this can include a lot of different things. It could include more remasters, more remakes, more games, more updates, or this could just be a random shadow drop of a trailer that shows more gameplay on Ocarina of Time. Because Nintendo does like to just release trailers, but I feel like since it's this big Zelda Ocarina of Time game, they're probably going to want to do something massive for this game. Like they're wanting to do the 40th anniversary celebration where they're going to share off the Legend of Zelda movie, just like we got with the 40th anniversary of Mario Celebration. They might show off a couple other games. If you don't know, there's been a lot of rumors about seeing Twilight Princess return to Nintendo Switch 2, so we can definitely see something like that. Either it's going to be a reborn version like Ocarina of Time, which I think is going to be a 1% chance if it's this year, or just an HD port or something on the GameCube application. But it really seems like something is going on in the realm of possibilities for this game. Of course, you could see your double pack still. Of course, you could see something on NSO like Four Swords, but I don't believe it's just going to be Ocarina of Time. They might actually do just a big event like, hey, this is the Ocarina of Time game here. This is the 40th anniversary. Thank you so much for joining us for 40 years for the Legend of Zelda series. And then they're going to show off a whole bunch of things. This could be like brand new games. This could be like a spin-off or ports and remasters or whatever the case may be, but they're probably going to tell you one big thing, and then throughout this direct, throughout this presentation, you're going to see actual gameplay on Ocarina of Time, how Link looks, how some of the story is mixed up. You're probably going to see Link in like Hyrule Field or the forest. Maybe that's exactly what could be happening here, but it definitely looks like something's going to be happening. Something big is going to be very interesting up afoot. So I honestly think that all of these things are definitely great things. If you're excited for Ocarina of Time, you better get up and start doing the boogie, because man, some great things are about to happen. Plus, if you look at it, originally, it wasn't even just recently. In fact, it was originally, there was so many people talking about August or July getting some sort of Zelda 40th anniversary celebration. What better time to do it in August? We didn't really get anything in July so far. Maybe we're still going to be getting something. Maybe a Pokemon Presents is going to be happening. Who knows? But if it's really the first week of August, that definitely makes a lot of sense. It blows everything else out of the waters, because then you can get ready for this and you don't have to take up sort of time inside of the Nintendo Direct in September. Instead, you can just go on with the flow and get people pre-ordering, get people excited for this game. I honestly never understood the point of pre-ordering video games, but that could just be me, because to me, a video game, especially like if you were just going to go to the store or whatever, they're really easy to come across, especially if it's game. But if it's like a collector's edition console or a brand new console, they're definitely a little harder to explain. So let me know what pre-ordering is actually all about. Is it just for the bonus, or is there something else going on? Overall, all of these things for Zelda Ocarina of Time is going to be insane. You're probably going to be seeing even more. If this is truly going to be the reborn state, you can definitely see something like the Light Temple. You can definitely see something like voice acting or even new dungeons or something that wasn't there in the original. The original game was supposed to be jam-packed full of exciting new content, but if you were to look at it, they didn't have time, they didn't have like enough storage, and due to the limitations of the N64, they decided to cut out some of the content because either it was making the game sluggish and choppy and gross, and then they decided to cut it out so the game would run nice on the N64, or it was for a completely different reason. Hey, something's going to be happening. So yeah, if you took a look a little while ago, about 2 weeks, there was a leak about the price, and like maybe they're, well, since you're pre-ordering, you're going to need to know the price. I don't think it's going to be $60 because $60 would mean otherwise. It would indicate something that you don't really want to see on something like that. If I don't want to go and play Ocarina of Time, like the original game, I would just pop out a 3DS. I would just pop out an N64. I mean, I wouldn't play on that, but you can. You can pop out an N64, you can play on the 3DS, you can play the original game. This time around, on the Nintendo Switch 2, you can easily just play something completely brand new in some ways that also has parts of the original experience, but just brand new. Don't you want to see something like that? That's how I believe Ocarina of Time is going to look. It's either going to be $70 or $80. The only $80 that we've seen so far is in fact Mario Kart World. We also have Fire Emblem for some reason, and GTA. Those are the three $80 experiences. Now, of course, there's a ton of other $80 games, but that includes like bonus content and DLC, and maybe the game's not new, it just adds like an extra ultimate pack. But right now, those three games are all $80 games, so you could probably is safe to assume that this game is going to be $70. Like, that makes the most sense to me. $70 is a fair price, so yeah. It definitely would be awesome. But overall, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that the release date or the pre-order date is going to be on August 4th? Or do you think it's not going to be August 4th? It's going to be something else? Like, honestly, August 4th is just a pretty good time. Like, it's a really good time to say, hey, get excited for this game. There you go. And potentially, they'll even release a Nintendo Switch 2 along with it. Because if you don't remember, about, like, we've been speaking about this for a while, Nintendo is apparently planning to do a Nintendo Switch 2, like a limited edition that has Zelda stuff. Because if you look at Nintendo, they don't really like to skip over Zelda. Zelda's like their big thing. You always see Zelda stuff, like the Zelda Golden Nintendo Switch Lite, the Zelda Golden Nintendo Switch OLED. I believe they had a Zelda. They had the Zelda Joy-Cons for the 35th anniversary of the series. So wouldn't that make sense for this time around? Because right now, the Joy-Cons are kind of boring. If you want people to go and buy extra Joy-Cons, well, then you might want to make them fun, don't you think? Like, that would be the easiest thing. You make the games fun, there you go. Or the Joy-Cons fun. Colors, gold, whatever. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed. Consider hit that like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. We do a bunch of different Nintendo content on this channel. Our goal is trying to reach the 5,555 subscribers by the end of July, which is my birthday. That would be awesome. Anyways, thank you so much. See you in the next one.